Apples belong to the rose family, Rosaceae, which also includes pears, cherries, and strawberries. There are more than 7,500 known apple varieties worldwide. Apple trees can live for more than 100 years if they are well cared for. The crabapple is the only apple native to North America. China is the largest producer of apples in the world, followed by the United States. The apple tree originated in Central Asia, in the region between the Caspian and Black Seas. The apple blossom is the state flower of Arkansas and Michigan. Apple trees need to cross-pollinate with another variety to produce fruit. Apples are grown in all 50 states of the United States. The science of apple growing is called pomology. Apple trees can grow up to 30 feet tall. The largest apple ever picked weighed over 4 pounds. Apples float in water because they are 25% air. Apple seeds contain a small amount of cyanide, but you would need to eat a lot of them for it to be harmful. The phrase, "an apple a day keeps the doctor away," originated in Wales in the 1860s. Apple trees can take 4 to 5 years to produce their first fruit. Johnny Appleseed, born John Chapman, was an American pioneer nurseryman who introduced apple trees to large parts of the U.S. Midwest. Apple trees can grow in a variety of climates, from temperate to subtropical. Apple trees are not self-pollinating. They require bees or other pollinators to transfer pollen between flowers. The first apple orchard in the United States was planted in 1625 near Boston, Massachusetts. Apple trees need a certain number of chill hours during winter to produce fruit. Apples are a good source of fiber and vitamin C. Apple juice was one of the earliest prescribed antidepressants, as it was believed to purify the spirit. The apple genome was sequenced in 2010, revealing many insights into the fruit's genetic makeup. The only apple native to the UK is the crabapple. Apple trees can be propagated through grafting, where a branch from one tree is joined to the rootstock of another. Apple trees can bear fruit for over 50 years if properly cared for. China produces over half of the world's apples. Apple trees need well-drained soil and full sun to thrive. The top apple varieties produced in the United States are Gala, Red Delicious, Granny Smith, and Fuji. Apple trees produce more fruit when they are pruned correctly. Apple blossoms are often used in traditional medicine for their calming properties. The world's largest apple-producing region is the Yakima Valley in Washington state. Apple trees were brought to North America by European colonists in the 17th century. Apple cider is made from crushed apples, while apple juice is filtered to remove pulp. Apple cores and peels can be composted to enrich garden soil. The average person eats about 65 apples per year. The first recorded instance of apples being cultivated dates back to around 6000 BC in Central Asia. Apple trees can be trained to grow in various shapes, such as espaliers and cordons. Apple trees start producing fruit in late summer to early fall, depending on the variety. Apples come in various colors, including red, green, yellow, and even bicolored varieties. Apple seeds can be used to grow new apple trees, but the resulting trees may not produce fruit identical to the parent. Apple pie is a popular dessert in many cultures, especially in the United States. The Big Apple is a nickname for New York City, but it has no direct connection to apples. The forbidden fruit in the biblical story of Adam and Eve is often depicted as an apple, although the Bible does not specify the fruit. Apple trees can be susceptible to diseases such as apple scab and fire blight. The practice of bobbing for apples is a traditional Halloween game. Apple blossoms are often used in bridal bouquets and decorations. The chemical compound responsible for the aroma of apples is called ethyl 2-methylbutanoate. Apple cider vinegar has been used for centuries for its purported health benefits. The Honeycrisp apple was developed by the University of Minnesota and is known for its crisp, juicy texture. Apple trees can be grown in containers, making them suitable for small gardens or patios. Apple trees produce more fruit when they are grown alongside other apple varieties for cross-pollination. Apple wood is prized for its hardness and is used in furniture making and smoking meats. Apple blossoms are a symbol of love and fertility in many cultures. The largest apple-producing state in the United States is Washington. Apple peels contain antioxidants that are beneficial for health. The Granny Smith apple was discovered in Australia in the 1860s by Maria Ann Smith. Apple trees can be affected by pests such as apple maggots and codling moths. The art of grafting apple trees has been practiced for centuries to create new and improved varieties. The Macintosh apple was discovered in Canada by John Macintosh in the early 19th century. Apple trees need adequate water, especially during fruit development, to prevent fruit drop. Apple trees can be grown from seed, but it takes longer for them to bear fruit compared to grafted trees. Apple cider can be fermented to make hard cider or apple wine. Apple seeds contain amygdalin, a compound that releases cyanide when metabolized, although the amount is very small. Apple trees are susceptible to frost damage, especially during blossom time. The first apple tree in North America was planted by the Pilgrims at Plymouth, Massachusetts. Apple trees are often pruned in late winter or early spring to promote fruiting and maintain tree health. Apple pomace, the leftover pulp after juice extraction, is used as animal feed or in composting. Apple leaves turn yellow and drop in autumn as part of their seasonal cycle. Apple blossoms are a popular motif in art and literature, symbolizing beauty and transience. Apple trees can be affected by nutrient deficiencies, such as nitrogen or potassium. The Braeburn apple originated in New Zealand and is known for its sweet tart flavor. Apple cider has been enjoyed for centuries and was a common beverage in colonial America. Apple trees can be trained to grow in a dwarf or semi-dwarf form for easier maintenance and harvesting. Apple trees are vulnerable to deer and other wildlife that may eat the fruit or damage the bark. Apple juice concentrate is often used as a sweetener in food products. The first apple orchard in Australia was planted in 1789 in Sydney. Apple trees can be affected by climate conditions such as late frosts or heat waves. Apple trees require regular pruning to remove dead wood and improve air circulation. Apple cider can be spiced and heated to make mulled cider, a popular winter drink. The Pink Lady apple is a hybrid of the Golden Delicious and Lady Williams varieties. Apple trees can be trained into various shapes, including espaliers, fans, and standards. Apple cider vinegar is used in many natural home remedies, including as a hair rinse and skin toner. Apple trees produce more fruit when they are grown in well-drained soil with good fertility. The Fuji apple originated in Japan and is known for its sweet flavor and crisp texture. Apple blossoms are often used in perfumes and cosmetics for their delicate scent. Apple seeds contain genetic material that can be used in breeding new apple varieties. Apple trees can be affected by pests such as aphids, scale insects, and mites. Apple cider can be fermented into apple cider vinegar through a process involving acetic acid bacteria.